Dick Allen was an athletic prodigy who had basketball and baseball scouts flocking to Wampum High School in western Pennsylvania in the late 1950s. One of 10 children, his dream was simply to use his athletic talents to buy his mother a house. He was signed by Philly scout John Ogden in 1960 for $70,000, at the time the highest signing bonus ever given to a black player.
All along we were going to offers from all the major league clubs. I guess it started from the time I was 15. And I guess Philadelphia, through Mr. Carpenter, was going to integrate baseball here in our city. And he came along with, he hired John Quinn. John Quinn bought his trustee farm director, came to the house and said, "We're going to Philadelphia." That's what brought me here. 1960.
Allen joined a franchise that had willfully ignored the infusion of talent emerging from the Negro Leagues in the late 1940s and 1950s. Not surprisingly, the Phillies became perennial cellar dwellers, finishing last in the National League every season from 1958 to 1961.
It is very important to know the history, to know the whys. Why did this happen? Why did the Phillies franchise kind of fall out of competition? So the Phillies did not dive into that rich talent pool, and you see how many former Negro Leaguers are in the Hall of Fame. You can never have too much talent, and to ignore talent such as that is just a shame.
We were the last National League team to have a black player in '57, but that fella was John Kennedy. He was not signed by us, you know, and he only played a few games. Dick was homegrown. You know, we signed him out of Wampum and went through a minor league system, and he's the first black superstar we had.
But before he could become a star with the Phillies, Allen was forced to take a detour on the road to the majors that would change his life. In 1963, the Phillies' AAA affiliate moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, in the heart of the Jim Crow South. Just 6 years after National Guard troops had been mobilized to ensure the court-ordered integration of Little Rock Central High School.
Such an extreme situation has been created in Little Rock. This challenge must be met, and with such measures as will preserve to the people as a whole their lawfully protected rights in a climate permitting their free and fair exercise.
Just as it had been 6 years before, anti-integration sentiment was loud and organized, and 21-year-old Dick Allen was part of a small group given the unenviable and unwanted task of integrating baseball in Little Rock.
Sure enough, we go to spring training, and now they're going to integrate baseball. And I remember Governor Faubus saying, it was all over TV, saying that not on his watch. They're not going to integrate it on his watch. When we got there, Ferguson Jenkins was he was one of the ones, and we had another pitcher out of Panama, Ricardo Quiros. Him being from Panama, no racial tensions. Fergie being from Canada, no racial tensions. Me being from Pennsylvania, what I thought was no racial tension, but geez, they dropped us off in Little Rock, Arkansas. They had a parade with the convertibles. Ball players were supposed to sit in the convertibles and ride through the streets. No, not this one. I wasn't going to be no target.
When we all got off the plane in 1963 in Little Rock, there were banners saying they didn't want players of color there. We knew as an athlete, we had to perform on the field. We couldn't do anything outside the ballpark. We weren't an individual that campaigned like Martin Luther King. We couldn't do that because our job was to be an athlete.
Going to the soda machine to get a Pepsi out of the soda machine, and cop car pulled in with the lights and he flinging. There he is with a gun in my face. He was a cop. Hell, they're trying to kill me right here in America, I felt like. I come home, I think it was only a nickel or dime. I put in the payphone. Mom, I want to come home. I want to come home. Ooh, gee. I can still hear her now. You listen to me. Boy, you hear me? Yes, ma'am. You put that phone to your ear. Do you hear me? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, God gave you to me. And I've raised you according to his word. He's given you a talent and a place to show it. And if you don't, you're not being disobedient to me, and I'm your mother, you being disobedient to God.
I don't think you'd have that happen today because teams now do their homework when it comes to psychology and they empathize, they understand, you have all these translators, and if you will, but back then you needed a cultural translator. You needed someone there to say, we've got your back, we support you. How much of that the Phillies did, we will never know, but I would not have wanted to be in his shoes in that city.
It taught me a lot, and I say that because it kind of left me with a little preparation for what was to come here in Philly.